I never thought something so ordinary could shatter my world, a single moment that rewrote my fate. Just a shower, a routine rinse after a workout at my mom's house, the kind that soothes your soul. Hot water cascaded over me, turning my skin pink, easing my muscles as I lost myself in thought, the steam a comforting veil. I didn't hear the bathroom door creak open, but the shower curtain ripped back a jolt that stopped my heart. My pulse froze. There he was, James, my stepdad, his piercing dark eyes locking onto my bare body before meeting mine, a gaze that burned through me. For a split second, neither of us moved, time suspended in a dangerous haze. The air was thick with steam and something else, something electric, forbidden, terrifyingly alive. Then he snapped out of it. "Damn, Sarah, I'm sorry. I thought no one was home," he stammered, stumbling back, yanking the curtain shut, his voice a mix of shock and something unspoken. The door slammed. I stood there, water still pouring, my pulse roaring in my ears, a storm I couldn't calm. Did that just happen? A question that haunted me. The rest of the day was torture, a suffocating silence that gnawed at me. Dinner was worse. Mom chattered about work, oblivious to the tension coiling between James and me, a secret that pulsed in the air. Every time I glanced up, his eyes were on me, not meeting mine, but staring through me like he saw something else, something dangerous. That night, I lay in bed, replaying the moment his gaze etched into my mind. Did he hesitate? Did his eyes linger a second too long? Questions that kept me awake. I squeezed my eyes shut. No, this was James, my stepdad, the man who'd been in my life since I was 17, who fixed my car, teased me about my terrible taste in movies, a father figure I trusted. Not the man whose eyes darkened as they traced my bare skin, a predator beneath the familiar face. Then, footsteps. My bedroom door was cracked open. A shadow moved in the hall, a presence that stole my breath. I held it, heart pounding. The shadow paused outside my room. I knew it was him, felt it in my bones. Seconds dragged, then a soft exhale and the shadow vanished, but the weight of his presence lingered. I didn't sleep that night, something had shifted, and I wasn't sure I wanted it to stop, a truth that scared me senseless. The days after the shower were agony, a slow burn of forbidden awareness. Every glance from James sent a jolt through me, his eyes a spark to my nerves. Every accidental brush of his fingers against mine, passing a dish, grabbing a glass, made my breath hitch, a touch that lingered too long. We didn't talk about it, didn't need to. The air between us crackled with the unspoken, a tension that consumed us. Then came the night, everything changed, a moment that crossed the line. Mom was away at a work conference, leaving the house too vast, too quiet. I was curled on the couch, scrolling my phone, when I heard the clink of glass. James sat across from me, swirling amber liquid in a tumbler, his eyes darker than usual, a storm brewing in their depths. "Want one?" he asked, nodding at the whiskey bottle, his voice low, inviting. I should have said no, but the way he looked at me like I was a puzzle he needed to solve made me nod, a choice that sealed my fate. He poured me a glass, our fingers brushing, as he handed it over, a spark that ignited something dangerous. I sipped the burn spreading down my throat, warming the chaos within. "Sarah," he said, slow, deliberate, my name, a weight on his tongue. "We need to talk about what happened." My stomach twisted, dread and desire colliding. The shower, a memory that haunted us both. I nodded, barely breathing. "Can't stop thinking about it," he said, voice rough, a confession that mirrored my own. I swallowed hard. Me neither, a truth I couldn't deny. His jaw tightened, tension radiating from him. "This is messed up," he said, But his eyes told a different story. "I know," I whispered, "but I don't want to stop a reckless admission that hung between us." My heart pounded so loud I was sure he could hear it, a drumbeat of forbidden want. Then his hand rested on my knee, a light touch that sent fire through my veins, a flame I couldn't extinguish. "James," I whispered, his thumb tracing slow circles, each one pulling me deeper. I wanted to stop him, but I didn't. He leaned closer, the couch dipping under his weight, his presence overwhelming. His scent, whiskey cologne, something uniquely him, filled my senses, intoxicating me. "We shouldn't," he murmured, his breath warm against my cheek, a warning we both ignored. I know I breathed, but then his lips met mine, a spark that set us ablaze. Soft at first, testing, then deeper, hungrier, a kiss that consumed my soul. His hand slid into my hair, pulling me closer, claiming me. My fingers gripped his shirt, craving the warmth of his skin, a need I couldn't fight. It was everything I'd imagined, and worse because this wasn't a stranger. This was James, my stepdad, and I never wanted him to stop. Reality crashed when his phone buzzed, Mom's name lighting up the screen, a cold splash of truth. We broke apart like we'd been burned, gasping in the wreckage. James ran a hand through his hair, panting, his composure shattered. "Damn it," he muttered. I pressed my fingers to my lips, still feeling the ghost of his kiss, a memory that burned. "That shouldn't have happened," he said, but his eyes blazed. "But you liked it," a truth he dared me to deny. I couldn't lie. "Yeah, a confession that sealed our sin." A slow, dangerous smile curved his lips. "Good," he said, voice rough. "Get some sleep, Sarah. This isn't over," a promise that thrilled and terrified me. I didn't sleep, replaying the kiss. The feel of his hands, the way he looked at me like I was something to be devoured, a predator's gaze. Guilt twisted in my gut, but beneath it a thrill I couldn't ignore. Because now I knew he wanted me too, and that changed everything. The week after the kiss was torment, a dance of secrets and desire. James acted normal around Mom, laughing, kissing her cheek before work. But when she wasn't looking, his eyes found mine, dark, hungry, full of promises, a vow that drew me in. God help me, I wanted what he offered, a dangerous pull I couldn't resist. It happened on Thursday, a night that broke us. Mom was at a weekend yoga retreat, leaving the house hours. I was in the kitchen wearing an oversized tee when James came up behind me, his presence a heat at my back. His hands grazed my waist, his breath hot against my neck. "You're driving me crazy," he growled, his voice a spark to my core. I turned in his arms, our lips crashing together, a kiss that devoured us. Not like the first, this was desperate, raw, a hunger unleashed. His hands were everywhere, tugging at my clothes, pressing me against the counter, claiming every inch of me. When he lifted me onto the kitchen island, I didn't stop him, couldn't. His lips trailed down my throat, each kiss a brand. I arched into him, surrendering completely. "You sure?" he whispered against my skin, a final chance to turn back. Yes, I breathed, a choice that damned us. Tangled in his sheets because of course we ended up in their bed, reality hit a weight I couldn't ignore. "Oh my God," I gasped, staring at the ceiling, overwhelmed by what we'd done. James traced lazy circles on my bare shoulder, his touch both comfort and chains. "Regret it?" he asked, his voice daring me to lie. I should have said yes, but all I could think was how right it felt, his whispers of my name, like a prayer, a moment that felt holy. No, I admitted a truth that bound us. He kissed me instead of answering, a warning I didn't heed. Then the lies began, a web we wove to survive. My friend Chloe noticed something was off. "You're glowing," she teased over coffee. "Who's the guy?" I nearly choked on my latte, panic rising. "No one. Just someone a half-truth to keep her at bay. "Oh, come on," she pressed, leaning in. "Do I know him?" My phone buzzed a text from James, "Thinking about you. Your taste." I flipped it over, heart racing, his words, a secret I guarded. "It's complicated," I said in understatement. Chloe raised an eyebrow. "He's married, isn't he?" If only she knew the half of it. We got reckless, quick, stolen moments when Mom ran to the store, James pinning me against the washing machine as it rumbled, the thrill of danger intoxicating. Sneaking into my room at night, his hand over my mouth to keep me quiet, each touch a risk we craved. The rush of almost getting caught was addictive until we nearly were, a moment that cracked our illusion. One evening, James had me bent over the couch when we heard the garage door, a sound that froze my blood. We barely dressed before Mom walked in. "Why are you both flushed?" she asked. Innocent, her trust a knife in my heart. James didn't flinch. Sarah was helping me move furniture, a lie so smooth it chilled me. That he could lie so easily, a second warning I ignored. After that, James changed his intensity, a growing shadow. He texted constantly, "Who are you talking to? Don't wear that skirt out, you're mine." At first it flattered me, his possessiveness a twisted thrill. Then it suffocated, a cage I hadn't seen coming. When I tried to pull back, he pinned me against the wall, his voice low. "Dangerous. You can't walk away from this, Sarah." From me, a threat that chilled my soul. I should have run, but his kiss melted me, a mistake that sealed my fate. The day the door opened, I knew our world would shatter, a reckoning we couldn't escape. James's texts grew more demanding. "Get here now. She's gone for 2 hours." I should have ignored them, but my body betrayed me, humming with anticipation as I drove to Mom's house, our house. This would be the last time, I told myself, not knowing how true it was. James was waiting in the living room, whiskey in hand, his presence a magnet. The moment I stepped inside, he pulled me close, his mouth claiming mine with a possessiveness that should have scared me, but instead lit a fire in my core. Upstairs, he whispered against my lips, a command I followed. "Now." We didn't make it to the bedroom. Halfway up, he pushed me against the wall, hands roaming under my shirt, each touch a spark. I gasped as his teeth grazed my neck, lost in the heat of him. Then the front door opened, a sound that shattered our world. "Sarah, James, I'm home early." Mom's voice sliced through the haze, a blade of reality. Time froze. James pulled back so fast I nearly felt panic in his eyes. My shirt was twisted, lips swollen, impossible to hide what we'd done, our sin laid bare. Mom stood at the foot of the stairs, her yoga bag slipping from her hand, her face a mask of horror. "What is this?" Her voice trembled, breaking my heart. James recovered first. "Honey, it's not what it looks like," a lie that crumbled under her gaze. Mom's scream echoed through the house, a sound of pure betrayal. Sarah explained this now, a demand I couldn't meet. My mouth opened, but no words came, silence my only defense. James ran a hand through his hair. She came on to me. I tried to stop her, a betrayal that cut deeper than I thought possible. "Liar." The word tore from my throat before I could stop it, fury overriding fear. "You chased me. You texted me 20 minutes ago, a truth I couldn't hold back." Mom's face went white. "How long?" A question that hung like a guillotine. The silence was deafening, our guilt, a weight we couldn't escape. What followed was a storm. Tears shouted accusations, the crash of Mom's favorite vase against the wall, a physical echo of our ruin. "Get out," she said, pointing at me, her hand shaking, her voice a command I couldn't defy. "Both of you, now!" James grabbed his keys. "Let's talk about this," a plea that fell flat. "There's nothing to say," Mom sobbed. My husband and my daughter. God, I'm going to be sick, her pain, a wound I'd inflicted. I reached for her. Mom, please don't touch me. She recoiled as if I were poison. How could you? Her eyes, betrayal, disgust, pain would haunt me forever, a scar on my soul. I threw clothes into a duffel with trembling hands, each item a piece of the life I'd lost. James waited in the car engine, running his silence a cold companion. Mom stood at the door, arms crossed. If you leave with him, don't come back, an ultimatum that broke me. You're choosing him over me. You slept with my husband. Words that carved out my heart. The neighbor's curtains twitched as I got in the car, our shame on display. We drove in silence for 10 minutes before James spoke. We'll find a hotel tonight. Figure this out, his calm a stark contrast to my chaos. I stared at him. You threw me under the bus back there, a truth I couldn't ignore. He shrugged. I panicked, a dismissal that cracked something inside me. At a red light, I grabbed his phone, desperate for answers. He tried to stop me, but I saw them, dozens of texts to other women some years old, a betrayal within a betrayal. Who's Stacy or Jessica? My voice shook, anger rising. James sighed like I was a nuisance. Sarah, don't be naive, a condescension that broke me. Stop the car, a demand born of rage. What? Stop the damn car. He pulled over. I stepped out, throwing his phone through the open window, a final act of defiance. Sarah, wait. I walked away, not looking back, free but shattered. I called Chloe from a gas station, my lifeline in the dark. She picked me up, saw my face, and hugged me tight, her warmth a balm. What happened? I choked out the story between sobs, each word a weight lifted. Chloe stiffened. Oh my God, Sarah. Your mom just posted this, a new wound opened. She showed me Mom's Facebook post, betrayed by the two I loved most. Never contact me again. Below, a photo of us from last Christmas, a memory now tainted. I broke down in the gas station parking lot, Chloe holding me as I cried, lost in my own ruin. Now what, she asked. My phone rang, a number I didn't know, a chill down my spine. You think this is over? You're mine, Sarah. Always James's voice, a threat that froze my blood. I thought losing my family was the worst. But then the text turned into footsteps outside my window, a predator stalking his prey. Chloe let me crash on her couch, but I barely slept, every creak of her apartment a jolt of fear. The unknown number kept texting. You shouldn't have run. I know where you are. You'll come back to me. I blocked it, but a new number messaged the next day, his persistence a noose tightening. That first night, 3:17 a.m., a sound outside Chloe's living room window, gravel crunching under shoes, a sound that stopped my heart. I froze under the blanket, straining to hear. Scratch, scratch like fingers dragging across glass, a nightmare come to life. My phone was in my hand, fingers hovering over 911, fear paralyzing me. The noise stopped. At dawn, I found footprints under the window, proof he'd been there. Mom changed her number. My calls went to voicemail, a door slammed shut. Her sister, Aunt Laura, finally answered. Sarah, stop. She doesn't want to hear how sorry you are, a rejection that stung. But James, she's filing for divorce. Doesn't care why, a final severance. Then the email started, signed J.W. James. Subject, you did this. Your mom's a wreck because of you. I tried to protect us. Look what you've done. I deleted it, then vomited in Chloe's bathroom, sick with guilt and fear. Monday, a bouquet of black roses arrived at Chloe's door. No card, a sinister message. Wednesday, my favorite coffee order, extra caramel, just how I like it, waited on Chloe's car, a violation of my safety. Friday, a torn photo of us from last summer was taped to her mirror while we slept, a threat that invaded our sanctuary. Chloe gripped my shoulders. "We're going to the police," her resolve my anchor. The officer took notes, looking weary, his skepticism a blow. "Any proof it's him?" The texts were from burner numbers. No witnesses saw James near the apartment. "A restraining order needs evidence," he said. "Be careful," a hollow warning. I broke down and called James, desperate to end it. He answered, voice smooth as whiskey. "Miss me?" A taunt that chilled me. "Stop harassing me," a plea he ignored. "Harassing you? I'm heartbroken, Sarah. You used me and left a lie that twisted the knife." My hands shook. "You lied to Mom. You sent texts from fake numbers," accusations he brushed off. "Prove it," he challenged, knowing I couldn't. The line went dead. 10 minutes later, a text, "Check your email." A video attachment, us in the kitchen that first time, filmed from the hallway. His hands under my shirt, my head thrown back, a betrayal captured. Another text. "Who'll they believe, the grieving husband or the slut who seduced her stepdad?" Words that broke me. Chloe booked us a motel across town under her name. "Pack fast. We leave tonight," her urgency my lifeline. As I stuffed clothes into a bag, my phone rang. Mom, a flicker of hope. I answered, sobbing. "Mom, please." James showed me the video. Her voice raw, a wound reopened. "I didn't want to believe it, but you went after him, didn't you?" "No," he set it up, a truth she wouldn't hear. "I'm sending your stuff. Don't contact me," a final cut. The call ended and I collapsed, shattered. Chloe pulled me up. "We've got a tail," fear in her voice. Headlights followed us to the motel, a predator's pursuit. "Drive faster," I whispered, panic rising. Chloe swerved into the lot and we sprinted to room 17, locking the door, hearts pounding. A car idled outside for an hour before speeding off, a temporary reprieve. At 3:00 a.m., a knock, a sound that froze my blood. "Sarah, it's me." James's voice, a nightmare at the door. Chloe gripped my hand. "Don't move," her whisper my anchor. The doorknob rattled. "I know you're in there." His voice a threat. Silence, then a thud as he kicked the door, a violent promise. Chloe called 911. "He's trying to break," in her voice, steady despite fear. James laughed outside. "You can't hide forever, sweetheart," a vow that chilled me. Sirens wailed in the distance, hope in the darkness. When the police arrived, he was gone, but he'd left something, a black rose taped to the door with a note. "See you soon," a threat that lingered. The motel manager refunded us, muttering, "Don't come back," a dismissal. We didn't argue. Chloe drove us to the bus station, our last escape. "You're leaving town," she said, handing me a ticket to her cousins in Oregon, a new start. "Don't tell anyone where you're going," her warning, a lifeline. I hugged her, trembling. "What about you?" "He doesn't want me," she said, slipping cash into my pocket. "Run, Sarah," her final gift. As the bus pulled away, my phone buzzed one last time. "You can run, but I'll always find you." I threw it out the window, cutting the last tie. If you've made it this far, thank you for joining me on this intense journey, a story that tore my heart apart. This may be fiction, but the emotions, betrayal, fear, the fight for freedom are all too real, a truth that resonates. I pour my heart into these stories for you, and your support means everything, a light in the darkness. No matter how deep the shadows, there's always a way out, a hope to cling to. Never ignore red flags, and never let anyone make you feel trapped, a lesson learned in pain. In love, family, or life, you deserve better always. Now I want to hear from you. 1. What would you do in Sarah's shoes? 2. Should she trust the police or handle this herself? Questions that linger.